What if I told you that Fantasia Barrino reached a moment in her life where everything shifted so quietly, so suddenly, that even the people closest to her stood frozen, unsure of how someone who had carried so much pain could enter a chapter that looked nothing like the chaos she had survived? At 41, the woman who came from poverty, heartbreak, and years of invisible wounds stepped into a season no one expected, and the way her life transformed is something most people would never believe, especially because her story didn't begin with fame or applause. It began with struggles she carried long before the world ever knew her name. She grew up in Greenville, North Carolina, a place where responsibilities came too early, hope felt optional, and every day was marked by challenges that shaped her spirit long before she ever stepped onto a stage. As a young girl, she dealt with burdens no child should face: financial pressure, emotional pain, and the constant weight of trying to hold her family together, even when she was falling apart inside. Yet, in the darkest seasons of her life, something unexpected emerged: her voice. It wasn't a dream at first. It wasn't even a career goal. It was survival. It was the one place where she felt seen, the one thing that made her feel like she mattered, the one thing that allowed her to pour out the pain she had stored for years. When Fantasia sang, people stopped, not because her voice was perfect, but because it was real. Every note carried the truth of her experiences, the heartbreak of her childhood, and the strength she didn't even know she had. But life didn't stop challenging her. As a teenager, she broke down more times than she could count. She faced doubt, judgment, and situations that crushed her spirit. Even the dreams she held close felt unreachable. Heartbreak, disappointment, and loneliness became familiar parts of her world until destiny shifted in a way she never imagined. The turning point came when she stepped onto the stage of American Idol. But the most shocking part is that she didn't arrive with confidence. She walked in carrying fear, insecurity, and the weight of her entire life on her shoulders. Yet, the moment she opened her mouth, something unforgettable happened. Her audition wasn't polished. It wasn't glamorous. It was raw, honest, and filled with a depth that came from surviving what most people never talk about. She wasn't singing to win. She was singing to breathe. She was singing to release years of pain. And that vulnerability changed everything. When she won American Idol, the world celebrated, cheering for the new superstar they believed had finally made it. But they had no idea that behind the bright lights and cameras, Fantasia was still carrying storms that fame couldn't erase. The smile she gave the world hid years of silent tears, fears she never voiced, and anxiety she didn't know how to handle. While fans saw a rising star, she still felt like the same broken girl from Greenville trying to understand why life kept testing her. Fame came like a tidal wave, fast, loud, overwhelming. Interviews, performances, public expectations, and nonstop attention crashed into her life all at once. And while the world believed she was living her dream, she was quietly drowning under the weight of it all. Celebrity life looked perfect from a distance, but to her, it felt like a cage. She tried to stay strong, tried to remain grateful, but inside, she was exhausted. The spotlight that once felt like a blessing now felt suffocating. She wanted peace. She wanted clarity. She wanted to breathe without feeling judged. And still, destiny had more twists waiting for her. The deeper she went into fame, the more she felt something shifting inside her. The excitement faded, the pressure grew, the cameras flashed, the crowds cheered, and the world watched her every move. But behind the scenes, she was slowly falling apart. Her relationship suffered, friends drifted away, family members didn't always understand. She often found herself surrounded by people, but feeling more alone than ever before. Her talent was loved, but her heart was overlooked. She cried silently, prayed quietly, and tried to hold herself together while performing with the strength she didn't always feel. During this time, something unexpected began calling her back, back to her roots, back to her foundation, back to the music that wasn't about fame but healing. Gospel and worship began pulling on her spirit again, drawing her toward the place where her voice wasn't judged, packaged, or compared. But this shift wasn't welcomed by everyone. Some people in the industry said it was a mistake. Some fans complained she was changing. Others whispered that she was losing her direction. But for the first time, Fantasia wasn't chasing applause. She was chasing herself. She realized that success couldn't fix the wound she had ignored for too long. That's when she made a decision that shocked everyone around her. Fantasia started saying no. No to opportunities that drained her. No to people who used her. No to projects that didn't align with her spirit. She walked away from chances that other artists would fight for because she knew she needed something deeper. And when she returned to small worship spaces, singing not for fame but for peace, she felt something she had lost for years: freedom. But even with this spiritual awakening, her emotional battles didn't disappear. The pressure of public life followed her. The private struggles didn't magically fade. She still faced anxiety, breakdowns, and days when she questioned everything. She carried the weight of her past and the confusion of her present all at once. She looked stronger on stage, but inside, she felt fragile. The world thought she was finally healed, but they didn't realize her greatest storm was still ahead. In the quiet moments alone, away from cameras, away from fans, Fantasia confronted truths she had avoided for years: childhood trauma, past mistakes, broken relationships, pain she had never allowed herself to feel. Facing these memories hurt more than any headline or criticism ever could. She made choices that shocked even her closest friends: walking away from fame-driven opportunities, setting boundaries, protecting her peace. She learned that authenticity cost everything, but it was the only way she could survive. Her music changed again. It wasn't just entertainment anymore. It became testimony. It became prayer. Fans noticed the difference. Her voice carried a depth so raw, so vulnerable, that people felt it in their souls. But the industry didn't celebrate this transformation. Critics questioned her. Doubters whispered she was losing relevance. But Fantasia kept moving forward, powered by faith and purpose instead of numbers and fame. As she rebuilt her life from the inside out, she faced challenges that tested her strength: anxiety, stress, moments of breaking, but she refused to give up. She shared her story openly, letting fans see the human behind the superstar. Every performance became more than a song. It became healing for her and for those listening. Then came a moment that stunned the world, a deeply personal revelation that showed just how far she had come. Fantasia opened up about her journey, her faith, her pain, her growth, and the lessons that shaped her. She revealed the choices she made to protect her mental health, the boundaries she set, and the healing she fought for. She didn't just survive the storms, she transformed them. She became a role model not because of her awards, but because of her honesty, her courage, and the strength she found in embracing who she truly was. Fans saw a new Fantasia, stronger, wiser, and more grounded than ever before. Her story touched people far beyond music. And now, as she continues her journey, one thing is clear. Fantasia Barrino is no longer just the girl who won American Idol. She is a survivor, a spiritual warrior, and a woman who rose above pain the world never saw. Her life proves that no matter how hard the storms hit, no matter how unexpected the turns may be, you can rise, heal, and transform every battle meant to destroy you.